Well, this is going to be quite a large deposit, and we're building and working on it to become the next major silver producer in Mexico. In the first 8 years, the average free cash flow is over $100 million annually. I think the first set of assays would be earliest in...
All right, there we have a discussion with Southern Silver. Robert, thank you for taking the time, taking us through your company. Perhaps we can start off with a short and sweet, maybe 30,000 feet overview of your business. What is Southern Silver all about?
Yes, Southern Silver is a company that's operating primarily in Mexico and southern United States in New Mexico. Our flagship project is the Cerro Las Manitas silver lead zinc skarn system. It's a large skarn, polymetallic, and we're building and working on it to become the next major silver producer in Mexico.
All right, and you have a slide in your presentation. We've done the research. Sadly, we cannot show it on screen right now, but we will edit it in, where you're comparing your ore body, what you have already found, to your peers. What is interesting is that it's relatively high grade while still having the size. Do you think you will be able to continue getting those high grades while you increase the size a bit further?
Yes, I think we will. What we've found that there's an average grade for the deposit, and as we add, or the overall set of deposits, and that as we add new deposits, they tend to be of very similar grade. And so we believe that we can maintain the relatively high grade mineralization that we have in the current system. And as we continue to expand and grow the tonnage of the system, i.e. just making the project bigger.
Excellent. And perhaps we can take a look at that NI 43101 mineral estimate that you have filed already. You have a lot of ounces in that indicated category. Can you take us through the numbers? What are we looking at?
Yes, in indicated and inferred categories, we total 302 million silver equivalent ounces. This breaks out into 126 million ounces of silver alone, which on its own is a very substantial silver project, but as well 2.7 billion pounds of combined lead and zinc with some copper and gold credits as well. So this is a very large polymetallic project, one of the larger silver-based projects in the world currently.
All right, and I guess we do have to talk about what the plans are with this resource. Yes. Do you plan to develop this yourself? Are you looking to joint venture at some point or sell it off?
Well, we as a company are primarily explorers, and we do that. We believe we do that quite well. Bringing a project into production is a different set of skills is often required. And so we would likely look at an opportunity to either joint venture or outright sell the project to a producer that would then bring the project into production for the benefit of the shareholder.
Yeah, exactly. All right, that's a great overview there. You have already done a PEA, if I'm correct. Perhaps
Yes.
we can also talk about some of the numbers there. What are we looking at? What NPV, capital expenditures at the start? Those are important figures.
Yes, yes. Well, this is going to be quite a large deposit. The PEA calls for a 17-year mine life with $4.5 billion of revenues over that 17 years. In the first 8 years, the average free cash flow is over $100 million annually. So this is a substantial deposit. The NPV at a 5% discount comes out to $501 million US and an internal rate of return of 21.2%. So again, we're up there with some of these large-scale projects. The throughput was 5,300 ton per day. So this will be a large underground mine. And I do stress underground because that's becoming, or maybe a bit of an issue in Mexico these days. But we are an underground project and very well located. And all things are pointing towards being able to put this project into production and ultimate development.
Yeah, and I guess that stress on underground we should maybe highlight a bit more because your project is located in Mexico, where there's a potential ban on open pit mining. Is that correct?
That has come up. The sense we have once the new president has taken power is that is becoming less and less of a priority.
Yeah.
And so we hope that that trend will continue or that will continue, but you never know. However, again, we're located in eastern Durango. We have federal highways running right through the property, literally within 200 to 300 meters of the ore deposit. There's transportation. This is an underground mine, and so it will, again, sort of out of sight, out of mind. One of the issues with the underground mines is that they tend to use a lot of water. With the open pit mines, is that they tend to use a lot of water. We are underground. We're using a dry stacked system modeled in the PEA, which will allow us to recycle much of the water that would be used for the ultimate processing of ores at Cerro Las Manitas.
Excellent. And you already highlighted that you are an explorer. What is the current stage of exploring? I believe you have a drill campaign ongoing and you are planning one, I believe. Perhaps you can talk us through where are we at, assays, what are the catalysts on the short term?
Yes. Well, we've just started. We announced it about 10 days ago. And we've just started a program. It's a 6,000 meter program. This would be part of a concept of maybe up to 25,000 meters. And we're looking at shallow parts of the deposits. Because there are 7 that have been currently identified on the property, but shallow parts of the deposit where you can upgrade either your mineral resources or alternatively upgrade the mineral or the resources that go into the ultimate mine plan. And so this is sort of a proof of concept plan, 6,000 meters. We think that with 25,000 meters, you could continue to grow the resource to maybe adding another 4 to 8 million tons to the resources is our projections. And so we're proceeding to test some of these areas. And effectively, it's to say that, yes, there is more mineral here. Yes, we can keep expanding. If a third party wants to come in and turn this from a 37 million ton deposit into a 50 million ton deposit, we think the room is there and we can show you where you want to drill to get there. And so that's, again, it's a proof of concept project or program. And yes, we've just started and we'll be, I guess, putting out results early in the new year.
All right, excellent. And of course, the importance of that drill campaign that you're starting to highlight is you have the grades. We know that you are a high-grade project. Adding that tonnage is really important to potentially sell this off to a major. Is that correct?
I think so. I think so. We have a project that can be attractive to some of the larger integrated miners. They tend to like bigger projects. They tend to like projects that they can see can end up being 20, 25-year, 30-year mine lives. And so we think this is part of the process to making the project more attractive to some of the larger integrated miners that are out there that could be looking at Mexico and the Cerro Las Manitas deposit as their next opportunity.
All right. And when should we expect the first assays to come in from this drill result? When should investors expect those catalysts?
I think the first set of assays would be earliest in Q1 in 2025. So maybe in the January, February timeframe. Then we would anticipate results to extend through Q1 and possibly into Q2. And possibly into Q2. So there will be news flow, throughout the 2025 and beyond.
All right. Well, great to see that consistent news flow. Very important for a junior if you want to partake in one, I suppose. Perhaps we can transition to your other projects, because this was the flagship project that we've been talking about. You have 2 more projects that are a bit more grassroots. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes. We have 2 projects in southern New Mexico. They are the Oro project. It's a large laramide-aged copper, moly, gold porphyry system. We've been working on that project for about 15 years. We have 23 of our own drill holes in the project. We've identified some interesting gold mineralization as well as copper polymetallic mineralization, probably more carbonate replacement style as opposed to a porphyry style. But we have a very large system. It's well preserved, and we continue to still try and find new targets and a real deposit that we can hang our hat on in that project. The Hermanas project, it's the second of the two projects that we have in southern New Mexico. This is a large gold-silver epithermal vein system, and so it's a little bit of a change, for us in that regard. But this has the potential to be high-grade veins. It's a large, over 2 kilometers of vein have been identified on the project to date. We think that there's expandability there. There was some early drilling on the project years and years ago. We've combined that to help new targeting. We're now in the process of permitting a $500,000 RC program, reverse circulation drill program. It ends up being cheaper than core drilling. It's about $500,000 US, and then I think once we get the permitting done and with financing, that could be a priority to be drilling in 2025.
Okay, very interesting kicker there with those more grassroots projects. We'll see what comes out of that in 2025. Very interesting to see. Perhaps we can also talk about your current financial status. How does the treasury look like, and do you need any financing for these exploration projects that were just outlined?
Yes, currently we have just over $2 million in the treasury. We are starting to go through that now with a drill turning in Mexico, and we are going to be looking at financing in the very near term. I believe we'll have an announcement literally today that we're announcing a financing in the company. And I believe that we're looking at raising upwards of $2 million to support or to fund the drilling, while still leaving us money for other corporate objectives and just G&A as well.
All right, great. And if there's a viewer at home watching that might be interested in partaking in that financing, how can they reach out? How can they find out more information to potentially participate?
Well, you can contact our VP of Corporate Development. That's Jonas at mnxltd.com. And contact with him and just express interest and arrange interest in potential financing.
All right, we'll make sure to include that in the description down below for anyone watching that's interested. Okay. Robert, thank you so much for your time. I think it was a great overview of Southern Silver, and it's interesting to see what will come out of your drilling campaigns in 2024 and 2025.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Stein.